Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not really after you. Or are they? The whole idea that we've been talking about in these first 3 episodes is about this, the grifting process in many ways, the unfair or imbalanced exchange that people will use to get their needs met, whatever those needs might be, right? And so it's important to understand that we all have needs and we all have these adaptive behaviors that we use to get our needs met. So we talk about it with language like grift and things like that, assuming that there's some sort of nefarious intent. But in fact, these are just the behaviors of somebody who's not done the analysis. You don't go and punch a child in the face when they do this stuff. Like, that's not how it works. And so since a lot of us are just grown-up children in a lot of ways, being aggressive about this as if assuming that people are doing this because they're actively out to get you is non-productive. It's not accurate. This is more often than not, at best, the behavior of somebody who just doesn't even know they're doing it, really. And it's important to make that distinction now that you can kind of see these exchanges, because once you see this happening in the world, you see it everywhere. It is in your advertising with the pharmaceutical medications where everyone's happy and the implication is that you're not. And that in creating that imbalance, you'll go buy that drug, right? This way of interacting is everywhere. It is omnipresent in our society. Being able to identify and spot these exchanges begins the process of you being able essentially to hold your own plumb in the adversity of this environment that is effectively designed to manipulate you. Now, again, you can't take any of this personally either. It's not productive. It doesn't really, it's not true. Nobody's really out to get you per se. What they are out to do is out to get their needs met. And in that exchange, they need something from you, whatever that might be. So is there any of these situations where you can have an honest conversation? Well, we talk about the relationships we build in Lodge as having this strong foundation where we can trust that the motives that the other people in the room have are identical to our own. I think that's in some ways a romantic story more than it is a reality, because again, we're all on our own developmental journey. As you begin to understand these things, though, you can begin the process of creating these non-exchanges in your life. And when I say non-exchanges, everything that we've talked about so far is one direction, right? It's somebody trying to manipulate you. It's you eating the bait or taking the cup of coffee or holding this weird bird in your hands. Whatever that exchange is, it's usually the outside in, all right? And our ability to then grab our compasses and say no thank you or name the exchange is a big part of sort of making that stuff go away in a way that's productive, right? In a way that doesn't require you to essentially lose, right? When we work through this a little bit further, you want to be sure not to have every conversation that you have fire up the danger signals, right? The alerts. And in order to do that, in order to make sure that we can move to a place where our exchanges are equitable, we begin the process of that offering, right? We're going to talk more about offering tomorrow as a way to meaningfully sort of circle through the sort of the grift problem or the money and valuables problem that we all sort of run through out to a more productive process that will help us sort of move that conversation forward without requiring a victim, without requiring an imbalanced exchange where we're all meeting on the level. This entire sort of conversation is about moving past that jadedness and into a place of equanimity. And we'll get into some of the details on that tomorrow.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.